We will not forget and we will not forgive. January the 6th, 2020. We will not forget and we will not forgive. Donald Trump came out there and tried to make this a divisive matter by dividing Democrats from Republicans. He said, we, not I, do not support violence. Then he goes on to say what he said on January 6th was appropriate. We will not forget and we will not forgive. We will not forget and we will not forgive. You want peace? If you really want peace, you'll only get peace if the people who were involved were brought to justice. I listened to the FBI and the Department of Justice. I guarantee you we will not forget and we will not forgive. Donald Trump's statements are the same they have always been. He hasn't changed his tune. He says he's opposed to violence, and yet his words were appropriate, and the words of his team were appropriate that day. So, Donald Trump knew who was inside of that crowd. He could see the paramilitary people that were in that crowd. We will not forget, and we will not forgive. January the 6th, 2021. The Department of Justice are hunting down every single individual. One guy, he's on bail. The guy that had the stand, he's on bail in his home state. But of course he's getting death threats. Of course you're going to get death threats. What do you think it is? We will not forget. And we will not forgive. That un-American act, that conspiracy to commit treason by the senators in the Senate and the congressmen in Congress who voted against the counting of the electoral votes in an incendiary way. One congressperson coming to the stand, yelling and screaming about Arizona, saying she brought her people and we'll see what happens. And she spoke not with passion, but with the word I was looking for was, that's the word. Can't remember the word right now. It means with sharpness. We will not forget, and we will not forgive. You want healing in the country? The first thing you need to do is deal with the cut down its center and its heart. It was undemocratic what each and every member there is. That brother shouldn't be out on bail. He should be in custody. And it's so outrageous, and it's so crazy that these people are marked for life. They're going to have to be in protective custody or something, because them and their families and anybody associated with them are free targets, and they brought it upon themselves. That's why I said this must be handled now. Like I said, this is not a joke. This is not a fucking joke. If nothing is done to hold these people accountable, you will get a World War III. That I guarantee you. You think what these people who want to try and hold hostage and terrorize the different states, you think what's coming is bad? Oh, motherfucker, you ain't seen nothing. It's imperative on Congress to make sure that they get this right. He's got to go. And he's got to go as soon as possible. They're talking about bringing him to justice after the impeachment goes ahead. And I'm 100% behind that. And Donald Trump tried to play political games with the impeachment, say they gunning for me, they gunning me. Brother, you're already history. They're not gunning for you. You did this to yourself. And I want the American people to know we are not fools. There is 63% of the American public, from not only polls that I have taken, but from other polls other people have taken, including PBS, that request that he be held accountable for his words. That led to the inciting of the people, which led to this coordinated response at attack on democracy. Who is this? Boxing scientist. Trump isn't going anywhere. If he remains in power somehow, some way, you are going to get a World War III, friend. And they ain't taking no prisoners. I'll guarantee you that. So don't wish for that, because that is going to be hell on earth. And he says Congress had a chance to get it right, but Congress committed treason. No, Congress didn't commit treason. Congress didn't commit treason. And that kind of thinking is going to get you in prison. Keep down that line. See, you still drinking the Kool-Aid. You still brainwashed. I'm going to tell you to your face. You watch straight in my eyes. Watch straight in my eyes. Because you need to understand this now. I'm going to say this. I'm all the way in the Caribbean. But guess what? I'm looking at you in your face now. Listen to me carefully. Listen. Zip it and listen to me. Zip it and listen to me. Don't respond. Donald Trump is not coming back. Joe Biden is going to be the next president of the United States. Listen to me carefully. Now, after that happens, and you will still be wrong, and you will still want to take out Joe Biden, and you will still want to destroy Joe Biden. I'm cool with that, but here's the part that you need to understand. Donald Trump, listen to me carefully, watch in my eyes. Donald Trump doesn't give a fuck about you. You understand that? You could go to hell as far as he's concerned. He does not care about you. The same elites that you talk about. Now you're swearing allegiance to Donald Trump. Look in my eyes. Don't talk. Shut the fuck up. Listen to me. Watch in my eyes. Listen to me. When you lose your life, or when you do something really wrong, you fuck up, he's not going to be there for you. He's going to throw you under the bus. I want you to hear me, because you're going to remember these words down the road. And I'm telling you now, he's not going to be president of the United States. So you might as well snap out of that shit that you on. I want you to understand there's a difference between reality and your reality. You pledge allegiance to Donald Trump. I don't. I pledge allegiance to God. And guess what? God ain't Donald Trump. Okay? I want you to understand right now. You don't understand what's happening. So I'm going to try and put it in perspective for you. The power and might of the United States of America is going to come down on Donald Trump. And he's going to be held accountable for every single act that he did. He's not handling COVID right now. He's down looking at some fucking wall, trying to talk about his accomplishments. I personally have nothing against the guy because I don't know him personally. But I'm going to tell you this right now. And I want you to listen carefully, because I'm going to say it again. And it will register in your mind a ways down from now. And you're going to say, I was right. And I'm going to tell you I had to say it to you in your eyes. So look me in my eye. Look me in my eye. Donald Trump doesn't give one flying fuck about you. He has raised money off of a lie. I have broken down why it's a lie. You are brainwashed. You are a nice person, but you are now controlled and brainwashed. And so I'm going to speak to you. Look me in my motherfucking eye. Don't talk. Don't talk. Look me in my eyes. He doesn't care about you, my friend. You're going to snap out of it. But he does not care about you. Weirdly enough, I care more about you than he does. And I know you're willing to give your life for this guy. Listen to me. That's what he wants from your soul. He wants you to die. 5 pro-Trump people died. No, 4. Yep, no, 5. 5 pro-Trump people died in that coup. One was a police officer, voted for Donald Trump. And 4 were the pro-Trump insurgents. Listen to me carefully. The man kills his own. He eats his own children. You're going down the wrong road. And it'll only lead to your death, and he'll still be around. Listen to me. I like you. I know you talk boxing. But now I'm talking to you. I am not talking, trust me, brother, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm talking in a serious vein, but I need you to understand what I'm saying. I had an ex-girlfriend. She used to tell me all kinds of shit about my own family. And I agreed with her. Why? Because I had a relationship with her and she made me feel a certain way. When I snapped to it, I realized, oh, this shit is shit. You're in that situation now. But deep down inside, you know what I'm saying is true. This is what's disturbing you. You've got a conscience. You're a good person. I come on here and I say certain things and I'm keeping on with certain topics and it irritates you. So that's why you're talking to me. If you weren't talking to me, that would be a problem. But you keep on coming back because you and I have a relationship already. You may not like what I'm saying, but you know I am genuine about it. You know I'm honest. So you keep on coming back. Listen, I wouldn't want to see anybody's life shed. I don't want to see more blood spilled. I don't want to see more people die. But the only way that's going to happen is if this guy leaves. Because he's not going to give up power. We already have lost a peaceful transition of power. There's no peaceful transition anymore. And we're anticipating another surge and attacks on different capitals and states. People have been ordered to stay home. This is not what it's supposed to be. No matter how you feel about the election, because it's feelings you're going by, and these excuses for these feelings, this is not a sporting event. This is not a game. This is real life. It's going to affect the lives of everyone. The way how the world is now, it will affect it in a very negative way. We knew since this guy came into office, everyone knew who he was. And we knew this is how he would behave. And now he's trying to pin this on the people who said that he needs to be impeached or out of office. He's trying to make it look like they're the wrong ones to do that. In other words, he wants to get away without consequence. No one must do him anything for what he just did. He already admitted to Congressman McCarthy, he admitted that he's partly responsible for what happened. Had he not said what he said, had he not directed these people to come down to Washington, D.C., this would never have happened. So he's already owned up to it on a phone call with Mr. McCarthy. Then he turns around and says everything he said was appropriate. Young California, I hope Trump is not hiding or planning to do something really bad to America before Inauguration Day. He is. You can't hope for that. It's going to happen. It's already in the works. It's already set in motion. I'm sorry, my friend. These are the times we're in. I mean, yeah, he's sick and crazy. Yeah. Young California, understand, this man does not know how to switch off. He has a mental disorder, but he was assessed as having no mental disorder, but he has one. And at this time, he must leave office. But his enablers have allowed him to get this far. If they had clamped down on him, he wouldn't get this far. They have enabled him and assisted him in lies because they felt he was charismatic and leading their party. They've compromised every single moral ethic and principle to get him this far. One thing he has brought to the light is that there is a swamp, and we see it now. And we must hold this accountable, him and his enablers. This is a no-no. There is no precedent for it. They said, well, certain senators and so on had dissent, but not to electoral votes. They never did. The debate happened after, because the vice president made sure that there was nobody interrupting the counting of electoral votes in 2016. And Hillary Clinton had conceded. And the case at the time, which proved to be a real case, was that they believed that Russia interfered with the elections, which was proven to be true. There was interference. But even so, there was nobody dissenting on the floor at the time to the counting of electoral votes. This has never happened before. This is unprecedented. It's also unconstitutional what happened. I told you the grounds for which it was supposed to happen, so I'll repeat it for you, young California, so you will know. An objection to the counting of electoral votes happens only when the electoral votes are not certified. Say, for example, in a state, the set of electors, some of them go rogue and vote for the wrong person. So you end up with the Electoral College either having the wrong electoral votes, or sometimes they have uh, a reversal of who won the state. That is when an objection is put in Congress and the Senate to the counting of the electoral votes by the VP, and then they separate into their two sections, and they have a vote and a debate on it. This is the case. It was not meant for certified electoral votes by the states. Furthermore, where people said it was unconstitutional, that the states went against their constitution and against their legislature in certifying these electoral votes, the states went to the courts, and the courts had judged on those matters and found that certification was justified. And in the case of Michigan, one of the counties, when the board of electors came together in Michigan, two members on the board of electors did not want to certify the vote, and that was reversed under pressure from other electors and from the members of the state. And then it went to the Michigan legislature, and they queried certain things, and they talked about it because they were going to have the post-election audit to bear certain things in mind. And there were reports from one of the I believe observers, or it could be one of the I think it's one of the people involved in counting or overseeing the counting of electors of votes, who made a query and a statement of concern. But even barring that, those concerns were dealt with in the audit as they went on to certify the vote, and then they went into their post-election audit, which they're either they completed or they are continuing to work at in Michigan. So once again, we all know right by now that there actually was no evidence of widespread fraud. Neither was there actually any case of illegal or unconstitutional behavior by the states concerning votes or anything to the extent of electors. The boxing scientist says Trump didn't incite any riots. Incite? Oh, incite. INCITE, my friend. No, he did. And it wasn't a riot. It was an insurrection. And yes, he did incite the insurrection. That is a given. Trump has won the 2021 election. Yeah, sure, in Trump world. In your world, of course. Biden and his son is going to jail. I don't know about that one. Courts can't pass the votes against the legislature. It was carried and conducted to the Supreme Court of the states. It went all the way up. The courts are the ones to ratify issues of disagreement concerning the legislature. Yes, the courts, according to the system. The legislature has the last vote. Yes, the legislature on the instruction. No, well, what happened was the legislature did vote. Okay, the legislature did vote. And then the vote was in agreement, and then they went to the courts. It's just like, say for instance, there's some sort of impeachment with, like, say we use Article 14 of the Constitution. All right, I meant the 14th Amendment. You have the 14th Amendment of the Constitution where there's gray areas. The let's say Congress and the Senate vote to remove the president through the 14th Amendment. Then they go to what is known as the Supreme Court. So even though you have the legislature arm, there's also the court. Well, actually, the courts are part of the legislative arm anyway. So they will go to the Supreme Court to have a ruling on, well, is it possible to use the 14th Amendment for the president? Similarly, in legislature of states, they go to the courts to clarify certain issues, which will inform their voting. So the courts are a part, like, I don't even know why this is ridiculous, but the courts are a part of the legislature. They're part of the legislative arm. So obviously you don't know the arms of government to start with, which is why it was ridiculous when I heard people saying they went to the appellate court, then they went to the Supreme Court. I'm like, that's part of the legislative arm, though. So anyway, having said that, again, what they did was highly constitutional. There's nothing that's unconstitutional about what they did. And then also to add to it, they were following what's it called? I think it's Act 77 is what they really were querying, and the courts clarified Act 77 as to the powers that are allowed. So that's why I went to the courts. And is it Act 77? I think it's Act 77. I can't remember exactly what the word is, the preface for it. But that's 76 or 77. I can't remember which one it is. And that was clarified by the courts ruling. I think they even went all the way up in Philadelphia to the Supreme Court of Philadelphia, and they threw out the case because they knew that the Act 77 was in effect and therefore allowed for those freedoms and powers. So it was not something that had to be debated. It was something that needed to be clarified, and that's where the courts come in. All right, so again, if you understand, you don't even understand the arms of government, so you can't understand and you just drink the Kool-Aid. I always tell people, do your homework, do your research, but a lot of you guys don't do your homework, don't do your research, so you don't even know. And then for you, all of this legislative stuff seems like goop to God, but I'm going to teach you guys how to learn things and learn things quickly. Because I was a researcher in a university. That's what we do. That's what we do. We research shit. The governor of Battle States voted for Biden, but the legislature voted for Trump. They went against, that's bullshit again. You're lying. You're straight up lying. Because guess what? You can't vote. The legislature can't vote for anything. They have to count the electoral votes. So that's bullshit. You're already full of bullshit right there. It's not about who voted for what. The electorate votes. So you're already off. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're talking shit. That's bullshit. The legislature was debating, they were debating whether the mail-in ballots, see, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. The mail-in ballots, the deadline for extension of mail-in ballots, and that's what went to the courts. Had nothing to do with their votes. Legislature doesn't vote. What they do, well, they do vote to certify or not. But that's not the issue. The issue is that the electoral votes, for them to be ratified and certified, calls for the legislature to vote on, but they needed instruction as to how to vote. And so what they did was appeal to the courts, and it went to the courts. And it wasn't the legislature that appealed to the courts, because the legislature universally agreed it was because of Donald Trump and his lawyers that went to the courts. That was the big issue. Again, you just don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're talking, but you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. No disrespect to you, but you don't do your homework, so you don't know what the fuck. They have no governor. Governors can't overrule the legislature, my friend. You can't. The governor is like the president. And then you have the Secretary of State, which is part of the legislature. So regardless of what the governor thinks, all the governor can do, I think, is relay the information to the people on what the legislature has agreed on, and the Secretary of State gives the ruling. But the legislature for different states is arranged differently because different states have different arrangements how their legislature is lined up. So once again, you can't go talking shit that you don't know what you're talking about. You gotta at least know what the fuck you're talking about before you talk. And there's all these Republicans trying to gupti guard because they know their constituents don't know about how rule of law works. So they can sell a whole set of shit, be very passionate about it, but they're really talking bullshit. This is about Act 77 and Act 76. If you don't even know what the fuck that is, what the fuck does it mean? That's for Philadelphia, at least. Okay? Everything was done in accordance with law. That's why they went to the courts. I mean, if you don't know that, then what the fuck are you talking about? Why are you talking? You got to know at least what the states, how the states legislate, how their laws are set up. I'm telling you, bro, you're on the wrong side of history, but that's okay. You can come back and you will apologize later on. Boxing Monster says, remove Trump now. Yeah, my dude, salute. Most people feel the same way I do. You're in the minority, boxing scientist. And you might be a boss when it comes to boxing, but you have no clue what you're talking about in terms of politics, bro. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about in terms of politics. Okay? And that Kool-Aid with Donald Trump shit, it's Kool-Aid, bro. It's Kool-Aid. No disrespect to you now. Let's talk about how you quickly learn things. So, how do you gather information on things? You got to do everything rapidly. So, like, for instance, when I go through videos, I go through videos rapidly. I put it on 2x and I roll through the motherfucker. Anything I don't know, I click the back button to go back 10 seconds and then I check it out and then we roll on. That's the first way to process information. The next thing is staying focused. Don't let your emotions get attached. Don't switch off the screen. No matter how you feel, go all the way to the end and collect all the information. And then if you haven't collected all the information, rewind and go back again. Your mind will start to get conditioned to looking and isolating information. Now there's something else called speed reading. Now, speed reading is just to get yourself abreast of what is going on. Now, really, I like to take it slow, underline, circle, that kind of shit. But sometimes you don't have time for that because that can take days. The FBI, the CIA, that's how they go. They comb through information very thoroughly, very slowly. The reason is when you're piecing together something, when you're doing research, the beginning is the thing that you have to invest most of your time in. And once your mind aligns with the information, you can roll on really, really fast. The problem is if your foundation is wrong, if you do not know what the foundation of the information is for a good period of time, and that's why the Department of Justice said this will take a while to convict these dudes because they're going to be very super thorough, but they say we're going to get every one of these motherfuckers. They say we're going to be super thorough. We're going to comb it. He called the nation's capital a crime scene. So these motherfuckers ain't playing around. And even the FBI head that I see here, they're relatively fresh. I think both of them are relatively fresh to the scene. They stepped up into the scene and they ready to do what they got to do. And he's talked about the terrorism groups. The same shit I have been telling y'all. These guys are talking now. And remember, the CIA and FBI are not partisan groups. They're not supposed to be, at least. They're supposed to be independent arms of government. Okay? So, I mean, they're on this shit. Okay? And I know they're on this shit. And the way how they're behaving tells me they're on this shit. So they ain't fucking around. I tell you, if you fuck with America, I'm going to say this. I don't care who you are. You do not fuck with America. That's just the rule. Okay? So, I don't care who you are. You could call yourself God. You don't fuck with America. And that's what you just have to understand. And you do not understand, boxing scientists. Shout out to California Box. Shout out to Boxing Monster. You do not understand, boxing scientists. Trump is not God. And if he thinks he's God, God about to get taken down. And you about to come out of your illusion. All it takes is 2-3 days for you to thaw off from this dude. And you'll understand what I'm talking about. But right now, you ain't thinking straight, bro. You ain't thinking straight. And just don't take no fucking action. You can talk how much you want. Do not go out there and do something about it. Because he'll be here, but you won't be here. Because he don't give a fuck about you. Just remember what I said. As one brother to the next. And I got mad love for everybody out here. But I'm telling you, man, this motherfucker is going to send you to your grave. And then he's going to be around. He's like the devil, man. All his supporters getting licked up by COVID. All these motherfuckers getting licked up by COVID. This motherfucker sending them a message and he fucking them over. And then he's taking their money. He's taking their motherfucking money. This motherfucker. And y'all, when y'all step out of it and realize what the fuck this man did to you, you're going to lose your shit. You're going to be so fuming mad. I just hope you alive. That's all I hope. Because some of you motherfuckers going to go out there, wage battle against the United States of America. And not only will you lose, oh my God. Shit, your life going to be fucked for the rest of your life. So don't do it. Just don't do it. Cease and desist. Have your opinions, but please do not resort to violence. You're going to get crushed. So don't do it. And trust me, they will get your ass. It don't matter how long it takes, they will get you. So don't do it. That's all I got to say. You can have your opinion. Nobody got to agree with it. But I'm going to guarantee you this. A lot of Americans got a lot of resolve now. So every time you say Donald Trump will be president in 2021, motherfuckers look at you like, oh, really? Okay, then. We gonna see. We gonna see. They trying to kill Joe Biden right now. I don't talk much about Joe Biden. Why? Why should I? He ain't a god. Just a man. So is Kamala Harris. They just humans. Some of you guys are worshiping this dude. Almost like the GGG syndrome. It's almost like a fanboy. Y'all fanboys of this dude. And he ain't done nothing good for your ass. Not one fucking thing. If you think about it, what has improved in your fucking life? What? Yeah, come on. Name one thing. Yeah, come on. Yeah, what has improved in your life? Nothing. You talk about leaders. You talk about how they don't care about us, but you can't see that Donald Trump don't give a fuck about you, dummy. You know how these people in Congress behave. You know how politicians behave. But yet you can't see that this motherfucker is the literal embodiment of that shit. Come on, man. You gotta wake the fuck up, bro. You in a dream state. You gotta wake the fuck up. You crazy, man. So everything I called happened. And this, I would not normally behave like this. I'll just be chill. I'll be like, yeah, cool. No, not this time. No. We're going to remember this day. And we will never forget. The Holocaust Holocaust survivors remind us of the Holocaust every single time. And we're going to remember January the 6th, 2020 forever. I can guarantee you that. We'll never forgive and we'll never forget. I want to let you know that. This is not a fucking game, bro. This is not football. This is not boxing. This is not about teams. This is not about Democrats versus Republicans. I want you to understand how serious it is. I don't fuck around. I don't fuck around with shit like this, like that. I don't fuck around with shit like this, like that. I don't usually talk about shit. I don't even talk about politics that much anymore. But this is different. And if you don't realize that, bro, you in deep shit. You in deep shit. And all I say to you is just don't resort to violence. You, right now, the way how you thinking, you just take a 5, chill out in the corner, say whatever you want to say. Let go what you want to let go. AJ, what's up, my brother? But I'm not anymore. I hear you, bro. Sit down, take a 5, take a breath, and chill. Do not go out there and risk your life for a guy that does not give one flying fuck about you. You hear me? Don't do it. You can talk how much you want to talk. Freedom of speech, in a safe environment, it's cool. Figureheads have to be careful what they say. That's how it always used to be before Donald Trump. So that's what needs to be happen. Okay? We got to get this guy out of there. That's very, very important. Nothing else is as important as getting him out of there. AJ says, I think my first comment got blocked because I cursed. No, I didn't block you. I don't block nobody. I don't block nobody on here. I'm talking to Boxing Scientist. I didn't block him. I didn't shut him down. I engaged him. And he's a good guy. I know because we talk boxing all the time. Which is why I'm very concerned for his safety. I just hope that all the shit he's talking here, he don't do nothing. He don't act on it. Because we like to see you around for a good minute. Acts of violence are just denounced. And even Donald Trump, even though he didn't mean it, he said, we do not. He said, we do not. He should have said, he don't. Don't agree to any violence. And no one should be doing anything violent. It was supposed to be people who are vocal. Expressing yourself, expressing your feelings is one thing in terms of talking. Boxing Monster says Trump would have never been there if Hillary didn't drop the ball. She fumbled a huge lead Obama gave her. I'm glad, to be honest with you, I'm glad Hillary wasn't there. No disrespect to Hillary, but she was a very cold kind of personality. She didn't really have it to be a leader. It's very cold. Leaders have to have certain qualities, and she was somewhat dismissive. She's more of a legislator. She's not really a president. She's not president material, to be honest with you. It might have gone really, really bad. So I'm kind of glad that she didn't, God knows best is my way I put it. God knows best, so that didn't happen. Trump is there, but Trump literally forced us to have to realize how precious democracy is and how there are the worst of us could bring out the best of us. You know what I mean? Yes, he has been the worst president in history, in the history of America. That is not an if, but, or maybe. That's not an if, but, or maybe. But the positives are, America never really went to war and killed anybody of itself that we know of. They had internal wars, inside and a lot of genocide and killing. But as to outside of America, we didn't really have a whole bunch of wars, and there was a certain degree of at least international. I wouldn't call it international peace, but there was a lot of unrest inside of America itself. A lot of unrest and a lot of really ridiculous things were happening inside of America. Um, so he did a couple positive things. There are always positive things you could take out of a president's um, reign. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not a hater. You know what I mean? I look at things and certain policies that they had and certain things that they were carrying out. You know, were we're good, quite frankly. They were good. But on this issue and what he did, I mean, it's ridiculous. This is ridiculous, and there's no way to deal with it. This is a precedent that must be handled, and a strong message must be sent to the entire world and to Americans that this is a no-no, a no-no, absolute no-no. So whatever full extent of the law they want to put down on the president to rein him in, and the president is not very controllable, they need to do that, and they need to do that expeditiously. I really don't care what the president says from here on in. The precedent's already been set. It's an ugly precedent, and there's no turning back now. America's going to have to deal with any insurgency or any terrorist act against any governing body from this point forward. It sets an ugly precedent that this president has set, and he will be remembered for that. We will not forget, and we will not forgive. And so it's up to governance to ensure that every single person in that thing is brought to justice to the fullest extent of the law. But also, in addition, they must have a balance between excessive force and excessive power. Because what we have learned from that insurgency is the way how I remember a police officer plowing his car through a Black Lives Matter protest that was happening, and they drove over people. Fucking police drove over people. And listen to this: the people were white people protesting the BLM. It was crazy. I watched that shit and I was like, what the fuck? So obviously, there must be lessons in policing. So in case people think this is just going to be a police state and it's going to get more armored up and shit like that, fuck no. It'll be a state in which there's a lot of intelligence and they'll be pinpoint accurate. Now we have technology because, Donald Trump may not have had wars, but they had drone strikes on different places. They were using drones, just like Barack Obama was using drones in their weaponry. So there was drone strikes instead of people going to war. But let me just say, without a shadow of a doubt, that these acts of violence against citizens will not go unrewarded. The officers who were involved in every single act against a civilian, including first-degree murder, as far as I'm concerned, they all have to be brought to justice. But it all happens in time. Sometimes it's just necessary to do your homework and research the people who are interested in these parties to bring these people to justice. But at all cost, justice must be served in the United States of America, and I believe under Joe Biden, some of that will happen. But it may take some independent research from people outside of the police force and outside of these places. Now we need law enforcement. This is almost absolutely essential. We need people to keep law and order. If it wasn't for the Capitol Police as the first line of defense, two Capitol Police officers actually giving their lives because the second police officer has succumbed to injuries, by the way. So 6 people that actually died in that Capitol assault. JEVC says, I used to be a Republican, but not anymore. Being Republican and surrounding yourself by Trump supporters is a night. Wait, hold on. JEYC, let me say something to you, okay? Hold up a little bit. Now, not all Trump supporters, my friend, first of all, not all Trump supporters are terrorists. Okay. Not all Republicans are terrorists. I believe we need people like you to stay in the Republican Party and put pressure on the people in the party. Stand up and put pressure on them. And I think you're in much bigger numbers than people know. And if you're disgusted with what happened, speak out about it. Put it up on a channel like how I'm doing. Speak out about it. And if there are people in your community that don't like it, get them together to take action by speaking out about it. And the representatives in your given state who may be Republicans, speak out about it and talk about either a snap election to replace them, meaning a memorandum on them, or take action um, by actually assembling the community and also the business elements of the community where these people get their funding, to take action to remove funding from them, as well as take action to have representatives amongst the body that they represent um, reject them. In other words, there are procedures and ways in which you can force these guys either out of office, or you can force them to not represent you. You could put out statements saying these people don't represent me in the state. I want you to understand you have power on the grassroots level. You don't have to do these crazy things that these people did storming the Capitol. When you realize that there are things which are wrong, in fact, in Georgia, lawyers came to deal with what the Secretary of State had done to remove voters' names from the voter rolls. They just suddenly disappeared from voter rolls, and 100,000, I think 300,000 people were disenfranchised and found out that their names were removed from the voter rolls. So I want you to understand they are taking class action in a court of law right now against the state for that. The action could only be taken after election. So they're going through that process. So I want you to understand there are legal channels in which you can do things. Now, when the courts are throwing out your actions, it's because you don't have enough substantive evidence. And so what I want to try and tell you is, and this is how we know that the elections were fair and free, when they go to the courts, because the courts are able to clarify and ratify disputes, right? They're adjudicators. So when there are questions about the Constitution or questions about a dispute, right? They are ratified in the courts, the Supreme Courts, the appellate courts, etc. So you have to understand that's what happened in the given states. You have a power to do something. You really do. Unfortunately, for some of these people who got themselves roped into the Capitol disaster, at least they did something, they would say, but it was the wrong approach. You never go with destructive approaches. You're always going with a constructive approach and with your arguments to show why you disprove. Now, I can tell you right now, Senator Josh Hawley is right now, he has lost funding from one of his biggest backers, which was a former legislator himself who was backing Josh Hawley. I guess Josh Hawley was his mentee or something, and he was really pouring money into him, and he's disowned him, as well as a lot of people in St. Louis, prominent people and business people have removed backing from him. So I want you to understand that there's a lot of people who think just like you, but you need to stay with the Republican Party, because the Republican Party is very vital towards pushing towards streamlining and fine-tuning how monies are used and allocated to really boost the economy. It's a really great party with great ideals. It's just that the people don't have the moral fabric right now. Some representatives have the moral fabric and they're doing the right things, and then others are not. They're playing politics with it. So I want you to understand that your party actually has great principles and great things are going on with it. Stick with it, but be a voice. Be like a Mitt Romney. Be like several congressmen that have been walking the right path, and they have actually supported the certification of electors, and they've actually argued for the Democrats' case. We need more vocal Republicans to be able to talk down to these Republicans who are talking crazy, and they must be fearless. They must understand that truth matters and that they are representing their constituents. Okay. And so, what I want you to understand is when you do this, you're part of the political process, and you also give a voice to a lot of people who think just like you, my friend. You're not as small as it. Listen, the majority of Republicans, yes, have believed lies and have been behaving despicable in terms of the legislature, but it does not reflect on the Republicans on the ground. And I have several friends on the ground who do not agree that the elections were stolen, and they're Republicans. Okay, so I want to just let you know, no, you're not in the well, you might be in the minority at this point in time, but the numbers are not that far apart. You're in the minority. You're probably 43% of the Republican base right now, which is still a significant number of people. Okay, and it will rise more and more as Donald Trump's influence and his and himself is removed from the base of the party. It will come back to the party of Lincoln. So please do not leave the party. Stay there and be a vocal voice, and gather together like-minded people to set the record straight. That's what you need to do. Maybe there'll be a civil war inside of the Republican Party in terms of ideas and ideologies and how to proceed forward. But this is not the way. And let me just say, a man who I really respect in the Republican Party, he is retired now, is John Kasich. He was the governor for Ohio. Very respectable Republican. I really like him. I admire him a lot. And there's a lot of Republicans who are not in the foreground. They're not prominent, who you should really check out. And especially statewide, Republicans, while they have done some really heinous things in terms of tactics, I'm going to just say that not all of them are like that. And so, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think he's a Republican. So I just want you to know that there's a lot of Republicans out there. And I hope that you don't give up in the party, but actually contribute to it, to guide it in the direction it needs to go. Because I do believe you have a place in there. And I'm not Democrat either. I'm an independent. I'm not neither of them. I don't give a damn. But I do respect what they bring to the table and what their strengths are. So I hope that you don't give up on it, bro, because this is sometimes the road that we have to carry. All right. But become more vocal. Become more vocal in the political structure. And I hope more young people are infused into these structures, and that these young people will believe in truth, in morality, in proper standing, so they can stand up. They should know a bit about the law and about the political process and step into the fray. Look at this. Look at this. I'll show you something. In the Democratic Party, OAC is very outspoken. And Nancy Pelosi, you can tell she's not fond of OAC. She doesn't particularly like her. But I'll tell you this, OAC is the future. OAC is the future. And that's what we need. We need people with integrity. She has vowed not to take any lobbying money from Washington, and she stands true, Bernie Sanders is another strong arm. We need people like that. And on the Republican side, we need young, fresh people willing to stand for truth, willing to stand for what is right, not believe in lies, not play political games and go along with things that they know what they're doing is wrong, and not fearful of people trying to kill them. There's this black senator, I forgot what her name is, or Congress lady, sorry. Her life's always threatened. She's always threatened. She always gets death threats, and she's been in Congress for a good minute, and she speaks her mind, and she stands her ground. You have to be fearless as a leader, because sometimes you're going to take certain decisions which are unpopular. Okay, go look at the president, Harry Truman. He was not a very popular president either, and he had to take some very difficult steps and very difficult decisions and very difficult measures. Left very much unpopular with the American public. But sometimes you have to take the steps for truth. And because you represent these people, and you need to protect these people, and you need to shepherd these people. It's a big responsibility, but you could do it. And that's what makes these offices sacred. That's what makes leadership sacred. And Donald Trump is not that. Okay? He's all about himself. And he says, fuck the sheep. I'm a shepherd, but I kill my sheep. Okay? So we need to have people Point out, and you saw what happened to Kelly Loeffler. She's gone. David Perdue, he's gone. Those guys were just occupying space. They just sung tunes. Okay? They was playing political ball games. And they're gone. Okay? Thank God. Now we have a minister of the word, and we also have a Jewish guy who looks out for corruption and points it out. Those are the guys in office who can be people of integrity, people of substance, to stand up, but still represent Republican values, represent balancing the budget, represent sparking and growing small business and medium businesses in the communities, represent hardworking people, both farmers and also small businessmen, and also big business, and also represent entrepreneurs and pioneers, creative people. That is what the Republican Party is about. They're about global entrepreneurship. It's about America being the #1 manufacturing capital in the world, being the center of innovation. That's what I remember the Republican Party being. And we need people like that. And we need young people to push the Republican Party to new levels, to understand. The younger people understand the global community better than the older people. The younger people, all the people who do programming, all the younger people know what it is necessary to deal with tech wars and to deal with hacking. You know, the Republican Party was known for its military excellence and supporting the armies and supporting our troops. This is what the Republican Party, I remember the Republican Party like that. I remember the Republican Party took the tough measures and were statership, and they took the tough stances. That's what I remember about the Republican Party. When I remember the Republican Party, I remember the people who would look at checks and balances for big business, checks and balances for the federal government. They were like the watchdogs to make sure the deep state didn't take over, to make sure there wasn't exploitation, to make sure that socialism was balanced with capitalism. That's what I remember the Republican Party for. I remember they used to be against Russia. I remember they used to say, no, Russia cannot win the Russian-American wars. Russia must not influence our elections. I remember the Republican Party for these things, man. Education. The Republican Party had different views on immigration and immigration reform. They had different views. They had a spectrum of views on that. But the one thing I knew about the Republican Party, and I could rock with, and I loved that they did, was they said, we need to decrease social welfare and we need to increase people's empowerment to start their own businesses in communities where it was low-income communities. So instead of working for someone for a small wage, why not get you on board to become your own boss? That's what the Republican Party told me about. That's what I remember. That's the power of the Republican Party. That's why the symbol of it is an elephant. It's wealth. It's about wealth and wellness. The scriptures say, I'd rather that you prosper and be in good health. That's what the Republican Party is about. They're supposed to be the business-minded individuals to keep the Democratic Party in check, because the Democratic Party would spend money like crazy on the population, and they don't always, even though they balanced the budget under Barack Obama and Bill Clinton, this is the best economic growth ever. But the point is, the Democratic Party is the party that really deals with the citizens and taking care of them. That's what the Republican Party, that's what the Democratic Party is known for. And together, through debate and they're supposed to work together to regulate each other and to bring forth the best that America has. Like I told you, America and its democracy, the democracy thrives and the freedom thrives off of commerce, which is capitalism, and also the social heart. It's like a caring businessman who cares about his community. It's not just about profits for him. It's about helping his community. And by investing in the people and caring about the people, he prospers and he's protected. So that's the kind of idea that America is built around. That's what it is. That's what that big experiment on democracy was about. But if people don't have moral character, it's important and imperative that you have the moral fabric. Then you will become an evil Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor had no moral fabric. All he was interested in is the ends and not the means to the ends. So you have to understand this. And if you are people who have a shred of decency and common decency in you, you will want to be part of that process. You will want to be somebody who speaks positive things into the atmosphere to effect change. A president is a figurehead, like I said before in several other videos. He's there to represent and embody what the democracy is. And whether he's Republican or whether he's Democrat, he must be given the respect based on how he relays that ambassadorship of democracy to the world. That is the key. He's not supposed to devour the democracy or devour the people and constituents of the democracy for his own personal benefit. And that here has not happened. That's why he must be removed. So, the precedent is an awful one that was set. And not just in this given incident, but in the emerging story that is happening now. It's not like this incident is a part of the past. This incident is continuing as we speak. There are people plotting against the government of the United States of America to overthrow it, and also other subset governments in different states to overthrow them. This is what is happening. Now, that is why this is such a serious thing, because it's ever evolving as we speak. And that is why we will not forget January the 6th, 2021. And I will never let you guys forget it. I will continue to bring up things because this issue is still ever evolving as we speak right now. It's unfolding as we speak. Not only has Donald Trump not stopped the events that have been put into place by himself, but now they are continuing and the threat is at an ever high level. And the whole entire country is right now held to a certain degree to ransom. This is why people are even coming on my feed right now and making comments and then leaving, because they know this is dangerous. And so people that probably never saw me ever before, and I tell all the individuals to go up there, do your streams on YouTube or on Facebook or on Twitter, and show your dissent for it. They need to feel the force and the power of the American people. A long time ago, not so long ago, a couple months ago, Donald Trump and even Fox News and even other media outlets kept on talking about the American people, when that was just a small subset of the American people. It wasn't the majority. The elections proved that the majority of Americans, by 6 million to 8 million people, a margin of 8 million people, do not agree with all of this false stuff and lies that are being circulated. And it actually is probably increased now, because I'm pretty sure, as a gentleman just said, I was a Republican and I don't feel like being a Republican anymore. He's just one of several others that probably are down this line. Now, I'm not saying that you need to be a Democrat. If you're a Republican, stay Republican. But fight. Fight for your party. Fight for the values that your party actually embodies. Fight. Don't sit there, throw your hands up in the air and say, I'll abandon ship, when you know the values that you actually have are Republican values. So you're Republican. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. And don't be ashamed to say you're a Republican, even though there's a bad stain on it presently. And anybody tries to isolate you out and say, oh, You're a Republican. That's a bad thing. You shouldn't. You tell them, no, no, I'm unapologetically a Republican. Those people over there who are doing what they're doing, I am not them. But I will tell you this, I will stay a Republican and I will fight for what is right. Because sometimes some of you guys will become politicians and become convicted politicians with integrity and with righteousness within you, and you will become great forces for change. Like I said, John Kasich, great Republican. Great Republican. And there's several other Republicans I can think of that are great Republicans. I will not villainize Republicans. I will not villainize Republicans. But I will villainize the individuals who are compromising their integrity and compromising their decency and compromising their ethics and compromising their character to get a political advantage of some kind, which will backfire on them. The Josh Hawleys and the Ted Cruzes of this world. And the 139 or something like that, 27, 39, whatever, senators, I'm congressmen who voted the way they did, knowing damn well, because most of them are lawyers and know the law, that they're telling lies. They know damn well, because they know the Constitution and they know the laws better than I do, because they're legislators themselves. So that's unforgivable. Unforgivable. And they must be held accountable. They must be held accountable. But as to the younger people and people who want to get into politics, please do. We need fresh blood. We need younger people. We need more young people in politics. And it's good to see younger people feeling the impetus to get into politics, to want to make change. Because I will tell you this, your freedom of speech, which these Republicans are talking bullshit, talking about how the freedom of speech of them are being taken, which is bullshit, because they're talking right now, so therefore their freedom of speech has not been taken. Okay? But as we all know, democracy is freedom within limits, and there are limits. And inciting violence is a limit to the freedom of speech. In fact, I have been censored several times on Facebook for that, telling a guy, what I called him a bitch ass nigga, and that I was censored for a couple of days. It's just a term. He's not black. But the point is, I called him that, right? And I was censored. It was cited as a violent language, hate crime. Okay, and it is what it is. You can conduct yourself in a decent manner. And censoring happens. I mean, you still on television, you can get censored for using certain words like fuck. You say fuck on TV. You can't say fuck on TV. They like to go boop. That's why we have ratings for movies. PG-13. It's decency. It's a morality that's inherent in the law. Laws would not be laws if they weren't moral. There's some moral fabric behind them. The whole reason we have laws. And do you know what mora or mores means? Mores is the consent of what is acceptable and what is not acceptable for a group of people. And the reasoning can come. So that's what a more is. Morality and mores has nothing to do with spirituality or anything like that. It's a common consensus by people. This is dangerous and damaging. Okay? And Congress, see, there's a lot to go on here, but we'll try and get it. Congress and the Senate, when there are judicial hearings, are based in the court of opinion. This is why the politicians try to sway you one way or the other. But when you are doing it dishonestly, when you're swaying public opinion dishonestly by telling lies and repeating them over and over again, then there should be a penalty to that. And that is what we're talking about. And that penalty, because you're deceiving people and you're misleading people, is a moray. All right, so I'm going to sign off here, but first, I'm going to make sure I entertain every single statement and every single thing that you guys say on here. So AJ says, Boxing Monster says, oh, okay. Boxing Monster said, okay. Okay. JEYC said, I used to be a Republican, but not anymore. Being a Republican surrounding yourself by other Trump supporters is a nightmare. The Boxing Insider says, fight for Trump, fight for Trump, fight for Trump. You can keep on fighting for Trump. I'll fight for America. And fuck Trump. That's how I feel about it. Fuck that son of a bitch. You fighting for Trump, and when you die, he don't give a fuck about you. The military have Nancy Pelosi. She's in jail right now. Now you're talking out your ass. Brother, why are you talking about America when you live in Trinidad? Because it affects my country, you dumbass. That is what Trump represents, prosperity and entrepreneurship and wealth. Fuck no. Trump represents himself, and that's all he represents. Trump isn't a figurehead. Trump is a leader of the free world, and he's doing a great job. My ass. Coming and leaving your stream because they realize you are indoctrinated and Matrix Man media lies. Nope. Most of them agree with me. And you know why they agree with me? Because while your eyes are blind as shit, the whole world saw what happened. And the whole world agrees with me mostly. You don't understand. You're in the minority, buddy. Ted Cruz and Josh are very brave men. My ass. The freedom of... they're going to be very brave men in jail. We'll see how brave they are. We're going to see how brave they are. If they're not in jail, they definitely going to be out of the Senate and out of the Senate pretty soon. But they deserve to be in jail for the seditious act that they did, because they know exactly what they were doing. The freedom of has been taken from the Republicans by Twitter and other platforms. That's bullshit. I just saw a Republican just post on Twitter just a minute ago. No, Donald Trump, he been censored. And he been censored because he was warned about his speech. And then he went and he gave a speech that that resulted in violence as the leader of the free world, encouraging people to go down to the Capitol and saying it's going to be wild. And then after that, they go in and they really do wild things. Yeah, sure. No, he gets banned. He not only got banned from Twitter, but the PGA is not associated with itself anymore. They're not going to be playing on his golf courses anymore. They're like, fuck this dude. We don't want nothing to do with you. Do you have What Up app? So we can talk on What Up app like men. For what? I don't want to talk to you on WhatsApp. Sorry, buddy. We ain't that friendly. Let's make a bet. And who is right? I'm not making no fucking bet with you, bro. Not making no fucking bet with you. Do you think this is a fucking game? I tell you, you think this is a fucking game? You think this is a game? You think this is about my side versus your side? But get the fuck out of here, boy. Get the fuck out of here. This is not a game, bro. You think this is just me? You just talking? What the fuck is wrong with you? You crazy or something? This ain't no game, bro. People are dead. This is not a game. This is not a game. Are you out of your fucking mind, bro? I look like you think I'm just out here talking out my ass because I feel like talking? Motherfucker, listen, this is not a game, bro. This is a global event. If you haven't been paying attention, this is a global event. Do you think this is this is just red versus blue in America? Fuck out of here. You stupid or something? Why do you think I'm talking about this? I don't even give a fuck about red and blue. You don't even understand. This is not a fucking game, bro. This is not a game. Wake the fuck up. Bet. What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? I know more about the Constitution than your dumb ass does. How is that possible? In my limited experience of being in the United States of America, my limited, I hide behind a camera. The fuck? I never saw your fucking face. Show me your fucking face. The fuck is wrong with you? You crazy? I hide behind a camera and you see my face right now? You fucking idiot. So anyway, back to what I was saying. I put myself out there. How about you? How about you? I never seen your fucking face. Fucking coward. So anyway, I was saying, this is a global event, you dumbass. This is a global event. It stopped being about America the moment that motherfucker pushed that insurrection. You got friends in Trinidad, good. They might be my friends too, so be careful. You don't know what the fuck you getting yourself into. I got friends in Trinidad. I got friends all over the world, so don't try to threaten me, buddy. Don't try to threaten me behind your little hidden boxing scientist bullshit. Okay? Because you can't face me man to man. You won't want to face me man to man. Okay? You don't want it. And you don't know what people are associated with me. So you don't want to fuck with me. You really don't want to fuck with me. So you better know what you're saying right now. You're trying to threaten me on my fucking stream. Ninja, you get dusted so quick, you wouldn't know what happened. Okay? So don't do it. Don't be threatening me on my channel, bro. I don't play that. Okay? And you're about to get censored too. You're about to get censored too. Because that's an act of violence. You trying to threaten me on my channel? I'm going to censor your ass. That's what I'll do. I'll do just like Twitter. I'm going to censor your ass and you won't be able to talk anymore. Okay? So don't fuck with me. Don't be threatening me on my channel. Don't be threatening me on my channel. Okay? Because you can't win an argument. Okay? And you're not getting on my WhatsApp. You're not getting on my WhatsApp. And you have nothing to do with me. And don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me. You don't know what you have no idea what will happen to you. But it will happen. Okay? So don't fuck with me. All right, so like I said, this is not a fucking game. All right? It's not a fucking game. I don't play games. I really don't play games. So don't come up in here trying to play games with me. Okay? All right? Because I don't play games. I don't play games with people. Especially people like you that brainwash right now and trying to attack me personally. I don't play games like that. Back to what I was saying. So we need principled people, man. We need principled people who would lead. All right? We need principled people who could lead and lead a country. All right, I'm going to say this last thing to you. I'm going to take the high road. I'm going to read out what you said. You said you was too scared. You won't do anything. You're soft. You're a sucker. I can find you. Come see me then. Come see me. I'm in Trinidad. Come see me. Come see me. Just understand one thing. Understand one thing. When you come see me, right? It's not guaranteed that you'll see anybody else after you see me. If you coming to see me to do something to me, okay? Because you coming in my territory. You coming in my country. So when you come down and see me, All right. But your friends probably my friends. That's the problem. So when you tell your friends about me, just remember they may be my friends. Okay? Because that's how we work down here. We close and we tight down here. So when you tell your friends and they tell me, just remember this. Just remember this. Life is a two-way street. Okay? That's the one thing with me. I live as good with people as I possibly can. So when your friends, which may be my friends, tell me about what you said, because they will tell me. Just remember this. Life is a two-way street. And I wish you nothing. I wish no ill on you. I've been talking to you because I've been kind to you. I've been nice to you. See, I'm trying to get things in your head, but you're so brainwashed and so trippy that it's not registering right now. And that's okay. And now you are threatening me with violence. See, following Donald Trump always leads to violence. Following Donald Trump always leads to you threatening other people. You wanting to wreak bodily harm on other people. See, now you are an agent of Donald Trump. See, you are doing exactly what he wants you to do. But what did I warn you about? I warned you that if you want to try and wreak bodily harm in the name of Donald Trump, he's not going to be there for you because he doesn't give a fuck about you. But you didn't understand. And now you're threatening violence in an international incident against me. But the difference is what you decide you want to dish out. Brother, I hope you can take it. I hope you can take it. You got to understand, in life, everything boomerangs back to the beginning. And you have no clue and no idea how dangerous that could be. Because you don't know me. You don't know me. And you're threatening me. And you're the one hiding. And everything that's hidden will be found. I can tell you that. Everything that's hidden. See, I don't hide nothing. I'm out in the open. If somebody want to come deal with me, they can deal with me because I'm that kind of person. I'm to myself. I'm quiet. Everybody knows me, and the people who know me know that I'm a decent guy. So, and I get along with people more or less. So if you do understand, I am not just one person you're seeing here. It's me, and there are people who love me, who really have an interest in me, who you will be affecting. It's not just me. If you attack me, see, even if I can't defend myself or anything, or you kill me, do understand you'll have to deal with the people that associate with me. I'm a trap. I tell people that all the time. I'm a trap. There are people you just don't want to tick off that are associated with me. And to be fair, it's not that I particularly want them to do those things, but they're just associated with me. Meaning, there are a lot of people you don't even understand, boy. You're gonna be in such a problem. You're gonna be such a problem if you mess with me. Trust me. And these people, should I say it? No, don't say it. Okay. Some things are left unsaid because, see, you don't understand. You don't understand. You don't understand. In life, everything boomerangs back. What you give out to the cosmos comes back to you. And so I'm a trap. Don't go. You could do it if you want. You could go after me. But what I'll say to you is I'm a trap. And it leads to a very dangerous end. I'm a trap. I've been a trap for a long time. So don't come after me is my advice to you. Don't do that just because you don't agree with me on something. All right? That's my advice to you. I'm not going to say no more. But you would be you think, well, actually it might be the same as the people who went to the Capitol building. and got themselves in trouble. I'm a trap. Okay? You can find yourself for the rest of your life in hell if you go after me. That's all I'm gonna say about that. You gonna find yourself in the life of hell. We could box it out. I'll make you respect me. Hey, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. I could take some lessons in boxing. I might get my ass beat too. I don't have a problem with that. We could box it out as men. Now that's some real stuff. I could get that. I could respect you on that. What violence did I say I would do to you? I give you a haircut. Okay. Okay, that's cool. You scary. I'm not scary. I'm a normal human being. And the channels that would be going through to get you would be legal channels. More than likely. But they'd get you. You know, I don't want to say no more. You don't need to know. You don't need to know my background and the people who. You don't need to know. You don't need to know all that. That's irrelevant. But you like to say, absolutely. I take on the challenge. I get in the ring. I glove it up. Let's go, baby. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. I don't mind. That I don't mind. Fuck yeah. Get it on, baby. That's how we sort it. That's real stuff. That's real talk. You think I'm soft? You think I'm soft? I got shit. No, I'm not soft. I ain't get punched in the face a lot, but I'm not soft. Ask anybody who's ever. Nah, I'm full of energy. I have a lot of energy. But man, I get hit upside the head. I got punched in the ribs and shit. But I'm not soft. They know that. They know I wouldn't quit. I go all the way to the end. You know, I'm kind of like Trump in that. I don't give up. I just do it. I just go all the way. I have no off switch. Once I'm in there, I'll get tired as fuck though. But I don't have no off switch. I don't have an off switch. It can get pretty intense. It'll be fun though. I'm definitely gonna get hit upside the head by you because I think you do it better than I do. So you probably beat my ass, but I'm not worried about that. The experience is what I would like to get, and once I'm okay, we do it. Fuck yeah, glove it up, man. Let's go. But I'm sure I got a trick or two up my sleeve for you. I got something for your ass. You might beat my ass, but I got something for your ass. I'm down with that. I'm down with that all day. Shit. But I got something for you. I'm gonna show you something. There's something up my sleeve. If I can get it off, I got something for you. I shucked the last guy. I shucked him, and he was good. He's southpaw. I got something for you. Yeah. Sure, we could do that. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. I love that. Do some combat, baby. And you ain't giving me no fucking haircut. I don't want no haircut. I'm losing hair right here. I'm losing hair right here. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I love it. Grow it out. Nah, man, it's all good. We just arguing, man. Shit, you know me. You know I be. We just arguing. It's okay. Dude, I don't hate you like that. Like there's no animosity in my heart. I'm just being very forceful when I argue. I'm just being very forceful. It's all love, bro. I don't hate you. You damn, you know you're boxing, bro. I'll give you that. But I'd love to get in the ring with your ass now. You got me excited. You got me excited though. Shit. I should have probably done, you know what? I should have done boxing most of my life because I have a feeling, because I always had a temper problem. Somewhat. I just explode, and I feel it's because I wasn't fighting. I wasn't in combat. And yeah, I probably lose a couple brain cells and probably get beat up, but I really got to, I remember getting in fights with people, right? And the dude had me in a headlock. And I still lifted, and he clamped down on me so I could stay down. and I was so strong. I lift that motherfucker off the ground, and he was really trying to choke the shit out of me. I lifted him off the ground, and you can see I'm not that big a dude, right? The dude was bigger than me, taller than me, and everything. And I lifted him off the ground, and I said, "Shit, what the fuck did I get that strength from?" My older brother was also surprised that I was so strong. Like I was really, really strong. And I think I have this energy inside of me that just needs to be displaced. I think boxing's the place to go with that. That's a positive way to take out that energy. So like yeah, man, for real, man. Boxing really is therapy. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you get punched, right? But for me, sometimes I get punched. Like if you knock me out, then I'm gone. But I keep coming. I keep coming. I remember I was fighting my younger brother. He has serious power in his fist. He's like what, 250, 260, something like that. And he punched me, man, and he knocked me across the room. And I just kept coming back at him. I just kept coming back at him. He was punching me in the ribs and shit. And I wasn't feeling shit. I wasn't feeling anything. I was just coming at him. You know, like how they were pepper spraying the people and they just kept coming. Fuck, man. It's real intense. Like, and and I don't punch that hard. I don't punch that. I mean, okay, so when I was doing martial arts, I heard a guy kicking him, but more or less, I don't punch that hard. But the tenacity and the energy, and the strength, and now the technique. With the technique now, it's like, you know, man, I'm enjoying it. Yeah, bro. Well, I use the wall. I punch walls. So that's what I use for my knuckles. So I knuckle up and I punch walls, and I know martial arts, so I know it's crazy, isn't it? So I'm pretty intense as an individual. At least I haven't broken my wrist or anything punching walls and shit. But that's what I do. So when I'm hooking, I have to hook properly. Like if I throw a hook here into the wall, I throw it properly. So yeah. But yeah, I punch walls. But most of the time, I just shadow box because I don't have a punching bag. So I shadow box and just work on my footwork and just my balance. And it really burns cardio. I haven't done it in a little while. Yeah, it could hurt your hands if you don't place the punch properly. Yeah. But I don't do it that much though. I punch walls for like what, maybe a minute, just throwing a hook or a straight right or a jab. Mostly jabs. I throw mostly jabs. But it really helps you to perfect your jab. If you throw the jab the right way, it really won't hurt your hand. And you could throw this just to pop it on the wall, or you could punch through the wall with the jab. So it don't damage my hands. But yeah, I do need to get a punching bag. But I don't want to twist my hand and damage my wrist or break something. So, but yeah, I do need a punching bag, but it's really great though. It's really great, uh, because I used to do katas and with martial arts and stuff. I just I do my little things. Sometimes I do my little stretches, my exercises, my squats, my abs. But I haven't done anything. My abs have blown back out, and I'm kind of out of shape right now. But yeah, because about 2 months ago, I kind of stopped training, but I was really doing well. I was like 154 pounds. I was really in great shape, and it was great, man. It was great. And I love boxing. I love boxing. It's the greatest workout. It got me healthy. Still have problems coughing now with reflux, but at a certain point in time, my reflux left, and I was really healthy and everything. So it's a great sport. I'll tell anybody, it's the best sport in the world, man. And because I was a more of a quiet person, I sort of repressed certain things, and so this is the best way. Like you express yourself, and I don't hate nobody. I don't have no ill will to anyone anywhere really. I just speak, and I speak sometimes very, of course, I guess just very openly about things, and I sometimes I express it with. Some people think like I'm coming to kill them or something. No, motherfucker, I ain't coming to kill you. You ain't do me nothing. If you ain't do me nothing, I'm not a killer. Anybody know me? I was born Valentine's Day. I'm not a killer. I'm a lover. I'm not a killer. But I do have some tendencies which are not very good, and you know, I had to work on those things. But yeah, so that's why, I have a lot of passion. I agree. I have a lot of passion. Some of it's not good though. So I have to, and I'm old. I'm old. I'm a big old grown man. I'm kind of like Donald Trump in a lot of ways. I've been able to do what I wanted to do in life. I've been able to have my own way of doing things and go through life. So I can relate to him in several different ways. Um, so I understand when he does something that's unconventional. I think that's good, and sometimes even the bad things that he does work out for the good for the good of the whole nation. And he kind of fast tracks certain things that would normally be. I know you're old, I know, but that's good. Years and experiences in life, and certain things got me angry in life and all that stuff. But being old is not bad once you stay in shape and shit. I saw a 60-year-old guy. That man looks so good, and he's 60 years old. I swear he's about 40 years old. And I mean, people are just doing so well. I mean, all these 80-year-old people, I see in governance or I see in sports, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like Sugar Ray Leonard right now, he's 60, what's he, 62, 63, something like that. He looks phenomenal. He's in phenomenal shape and looks exceptionally well. You know what I mean? So, what you need be up in here talking sports. I talk politics. The only reason why I'm talking politics right now is because I find it as a critical point in time. But really, honestly speaking, if I could, I would talk more boxing. Talk about, everybody from Canelo straight down to, Inui. And yeah, there's a lot of exciting things happening in boxing too, to be honest with you. But I just took the time out to take time to this because I find this just so important. It's like pivotal. It's like a pivotal moment in for everybody globally, and I just want to make sure that I get my voice out there so people know that this is not cool and this is just not right. And that's all I'm saying. I don't hate you or nothing like that. I send the message over and over again. Probably if we knew each other, we'd be really good friends and everything. I really truly believe that because we share a lot of things in common. But it's just that sometimes in life, you just got to take certain stands. And this is just one of them. And it's not necessarily that I personally, again, have anything against anybody because I don't know these people like that. I don't know Mr. Trump like that. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure he'd be a cool person to be around, like a lot of people said, in terms of certain arenas and certain things that they would go do. It's just that when you ever had a friend and y'all was good friends, and then that friend got into a certain position, and all of a sudden you're estranged from them, and they're behaving differently? That's the feeling I get with this dude. Like, this dude should have never have been necessarily president. Well, no, I can't say that. I can't go against God. But he became president of the United States. He's the same guy. It's just the problem with it is that there's just certain things the office demands that he never really quite either understood or could do. You know what I mean? And that's why I try to explain what a president is. And even his mom said, "Oh my God, don't let this guy be president." She was saying that to say he cool as a businessman. Let him exist as that, okay? But don't put him in because no, it just don't work. It don't work. His personality doesn't allow him to do certain things. He's not geared up for that, and it'll lead to disaster. And literally, the problem with Donald, the only really big problem with Donald is he hates to lose. He's very competitive. Remind me of Michael Jordan, Floyd Mayweather, athletes, Terrence Crawford's like that too, right? But the problem with it is everything's not a game. Everything's not sports. That's why I keep on saying this is not a game. So when you are in a position where you have to acknowledge lose, think of it not as a loss. For me personally, I don't think he lost. I think he exceeded all expectations, like I said before. He went beyond what anybody ever expected of him. So for me, he always won. He always won. He got to deal with court cases and all kinds of shit now that comes after it, but He always won, but he keeps on digging himself into more and more problems. That's the thing. So this is why I'm trying to say, when you remove him from office, at least it won't get worse. That's why I said those guys need to protect him from himself, because he does not know how to quit. He does not know how to lose. It's not in his vocabulary. That's what his niece was saying. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, of course, his niece gonna know him better than I do. His mom gonna know him better than I do. That competitive nature, that desire not to lose is a good one, but it can be a very bad trait. Your strongest trait can be your worst trait. And the very thing that makes people love Donald Trump, which is his lack to quit, his lack to stay down, it's very good. That's the very trait that's dangerous also as a president of the United States. It works. It's less dangerous when you're just a businessman, but when you are the president of the United States, you better concede. Otherwise, they're gonna make you concede. And then the avenues and the procedures he chose to go down to stay in power are, I mean, it's terrible. He wants to win by any means, and that's not cool. So that's what scares everybody right now. And people need to take action on that to save him from himself. Because I'm guaranteeing you, man, he's willing to go out with a spectacular bang and take a whole set of people with him. He's like that. That's the way. For him, winning is his breath that he breathes. So that's the problem here. And everybody who knows Donald Trump knows that's his essential blessing and an essential curse. That's why I'm trying to explain to you. He does not care about you. You're a means to the end. He cares about winning. That's what fosters his ego. You hear it all the time. He says it all the time. If that intoxicates you, that's cool. But you got to separate from the reality of the situation what could happen to the country as a result of him trying to win something that he's already lost. That's the problem. And you have to be able to separate that. I get who he is. I admire a lot of qualities he has. Okay? If I could be more determined, if you could be more determined as he is, we go very far. And he went very far. Because I'm telling you, man, he got mental disabilities, And with all of that, and this is what, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Donald Trump has proven that people with disabilities, don't matter what it is, you could be blind, crippled, whatever, you can make it as far as he is because he had the drive. He had the desire to push himself there. Even though some of the things he did was questionable, he had the drive, and that's what I like and admire, and that's what I take home from him. I always said a lot of positive things about the guy in the face of, so there's so many negative things you can say about people, man. There's so many negative things you can say about people. So sometimes the given, what don't need to be said, don't need to be said, okay? Right. So you can pull the positive from it. Since everybody's already saying negative things about him, I pull those positive. But in this case, in this scenario, I can't say anything positive about him. You got to understand that. And this scenario must be treated differently. So that's where I stand on the issue. And I've been as fair as I can possibly be. I've been as impartial as I possibly can be on this issue. All right. And it's just what it is. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to be on any side of the aisle or any shit like that. I don't have time for that shit. All I can tell you is, and I don't even care about race and all that bullshit. I don't care about that stuff. It's so fundamental to me that it's going to affect my country. It's going to affect countries of the world. That's how big this is. He's on an international stage. He has to understand he's an ambassador for America's democracy to the world. And the legislative arm failed to some degree, but he also failed to a miserable degree. Unfortunately, the president carries the brunt of the responsibility of the country. The buck always stops with the president. And if the president can't bear that responsibility on his shoulders, he's not fit for office. He has to leave. You have to be able to bear the responsibility. You have to be able to acknowledge when you have made the wrong decisions and learn to live with that. It's just something he can't do. He doesn't know how to do that. He went up on TV and said everything that he said was what is the word? Appropriate. Are you crazy? Are you nuts? No, it's not appropriate. So by him challenging the reality of the situation, it told me he's in his own reality. And he's telling himself whatever he feels like telling himself. And he decides he's going to do whatever he wants. You can't do that in America. You can't do it. You're not above the law. So, it is what it is. I'm not. I know myself to a certain degree. I was something like him at a certain point in time, actually, somewhere around 2000 and what was it, 2006, 2007, 2008. I was like him, but I was put in check. I got a serious dose of reality, and it wasn't good. I wanted to commit suicide actually because of that. But let me just let you know that once the reality check comes true, it's a very painful experience and a catharsis. But I'll tell you this: it's the best thing that ever happened to me. I was brought down. I was brought down to reality. I was humbled. I was able to see things through other people's eyes. It got me more in tune with people and more caring. So I'm just saying, everything happens for its reason. So it's not like I'm speaking out of the butt, and that's why I'm somewhat apologetic towards him, because I know, because I've been down that road. I've experienced those things. I used to be at the top of my game. I used to be able to, everybody's always heaping praises on me. Oh, he's so bright. He's so this. He's so that. And I bought the Kool-Aid, and it just blew up my ego. But I got a reality check, and yeah, he gonna have to have a reality check. It is what it is. But he'll come out of it. He's a strong guy. He'll come out of it. They won't kill him. Hopefully, they won't kill him, and he'll come out of it. So, that's just the way how life is. Life is like that, and you can take positives from situations, you can take negative from situations, but you need to call serious situations for what they are. And this is a serious situation that needs immediate addressing, and as soon as possible. So far, thank God, we've gone now. How many days have we gone since the coup attempt? It's like what? It was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We're 6 days in. Thank God. Nothing has happened. Or maybe something has happened, but I don't know about it. You know what I mean? And what I don't know about, I'm happy about. But that's what you got to understand. Right now, there's a lot of anxiety. People are literally worried and concerned about this situation. And I feel very much the same way. And until, and it might be a couple months before things can really calm down, we can really be sort of somewhat peaceful. And even then, we have to anticipate a terror attack at any point in time from this point forward. It's just, that's the reality of the situation. That's the reality, man. And it's not a good reality. It's a scary reality, because we've seen this in history before, play by play, and that's what scares everybody. So that's why I'm talking about it. I'm all the way in Trinidad and Tobago, which is like a couple thousand miles away from Washington, D.C. And I can tell you, I remember the World Trade Center bombings. I was a teacher in a secondary school back in 2001. I think I just finished my first year of teaching. I remember watching it and was laughing. I was like, America got what it deserves. And then I realized, like a jackass, that I realized I was a jackass, because in that building, that Trade Center building, people from my country died. People who worked in my country. I had a cousin that died in that building, and I felt like a fucking asshole because I didn't realize I was laughing at my cousin's death. And so I forgot that America is cosmopolitan. I forgot that America is a place where everybody from every nation comes. And in New York, that's the melting pot. So I was laughing at my own demise. I was laughing at my own self. I was a fool. I remember in the United States, I was condemning the nation and stuff, and I was talking about how they police the world and stuff, and I was set straight. I said, the guy said, "Well, you're experiencing the United States right now. Are they policing you?" And then the person told me, "You're using their university, you dumbass." He didn't say dumbass. He didn't curse me. And I was like, "You're right. How can you bite the hand that feeds you?" I'm not saying, oh, you should be grateful for everything that Master America do. No, but the freedoms that you have to be able to say that came from fucking America. They advertise democracy so you can be free to say this shit that you say now without thinking. And it dawned on me, they were right. They were right. Anyway, what you need in the building. I hope you have a good day, boxing scientists. It's been good talking with you guys and debating. And I would love it'd be an honor to fight you, actually. I always feel combat is one of the purest, most honorable things in the world. Anybody who gets in the ring, even if they get their ass kicked, I respect them. You gotta respect that. So yeah, I would love to do that, bro. I'll catch you later though. Stay safe. Please, bro, stay safe. Don't do nothing stupid. And you guaranteed I won't do something stupid. That's one thing. And I wish sometimes that people would put on the gloves more and put down the guns. Like I would love to see two congressmen go at it in the ring. That would be fun. See if they could box anything. If they could do any boxing, it'd be funny as hell. I think Mitt Romney actually took on did Mitt Romney not fight Evander Holyfield? I think he went in the ring and he fought Evander Holyfield. You know that? It's crazy, man. I think it's somewhere on YouTube. They duked it out. I was like, what? Mitt putting on the gloves? What? All right, man, people. I'm out of here. Blessings.